To set up a D3 monitoring system, you will need your D3 base station at hand, the power cable plugged into a socket, and the Ethernet cable connected to a network port. Connect the Ethernet cable and power cable into the back of the D3 base station. Locate the button at the bottom of the base station and press the button to power up the D3. The screen will take a few seconds to load. You are now on the home screen of the base station. To locate the IP configuration, press the Info button. Take note of the IP address, as this is what you need to log into your system via your network. Using a laptop, PC or tablet, open any internet browser, type the IP address as found on the base station into the search bar and press enter. You will land on a login page. The default username is admin, all lowercase letters, and the password is 1234. Click sign in and you are now successfully logged into your D3 via your network. This is where you will continue to set up your D3 by pairing sensors, which can be seen in the next few videos. To log into the D3 via an internet browser as shown in the previous video. Go to the settings page and you will automatically land on Manage Devices. This is where you will pair all sensors. Step 2. You need to create the sensor by clicking Add Device. Enter a short reference, which can be up to 5 characters. Enter a name, which can be up to 25 characters. We will skip the group for now, but view this in video 4. Select the sensor type in the drop-down option. If your sensor type is not here, you will need to create a custom sensor as shown in video 5. Click Add Device and the sensor should now appear in the Manage Devices page. Step 3 is linking the transmitter to the sensor name. Click on the link icon for the sensor you just created. Step 4. Click Join Transmitter. Once this has been clicked, a timer will begin. Step 5. Once the timer starts, press and hold the grey button on the front of the transmitter. Don't let go until the green light on the transmitter flashes once. Legacy Sensor Paired will appear on the screen. You have successfully created and paired a standard sensor. To view a sensor reading, go to the site page. The sensors take a reading once every minute, so it will take 1 minute for a reading to appear. To force a reading, you can press the grey button on the front of the sensor. This will send a reading within seconds. To complete pairing a digital sensor, continue to the next video. Before creating and linking a digital sensor, connect the digital probe to the connection at the end of the transmitter. To create and link a digital sensor, follow steps 1 to 5 in the previous video. The link manager will remain on the screen. When you have completed those 5 steps, take note of the serial number on the sensor. This serial number will be listed in available sensors in the link manager. Click on the listing, then click Link Sensor. Once the sensor has been successfully paired, the serial number will appear next to the sensor name. Just like the previous video, to view a sensor reading, go to the site page and wait for 1 minute, or press the grey button on the sensor for an instant reading. Settings page. Click on Add Group at the top. Fill in a short reference and name and click Add Group. To add a sensor to a group, you must click on the sensor name, then click Edit. There is a drop-down menu for a group, and this is where you select the group to put the sensor into. Press Submit to save your changes. The sensor is now in a group. On the Manage Devices page, you can press the plus sign next to the group name to view the sensors in the group. To view all readings for sensors in the group, go to the site page. Temperature, humidity and repeaters are the only devices that are pre-configured on the D3. If you have another type of sensor to monitor, like door contact or gas leak detection, then you need to create a custom sensor. For this video, I will be creating a door contact sensor type, which is a digital sensor. To do this, go to Settings, then Custom Sensor Database. Press Add and fill in the details, name, units and hardware type. The hardware type will load configuration options. For the door contact sensor, tag on will show as open, tag off will show as closed, and we will allow for invert signal. Press submit and this sensor is now ready for use. To use this sensor type, go back to Manage Devices, press Add Device, and the custom sensor will now appear in the drop-down option for sensor type. If you would like to receive alerts when a sensor reading has gone above or below its ideal range, the first step is to edit the set points. Sensors are pre-configured with one set point, so you might begin to receive alerts shortly after setup if the monitoring range is above or below the pre-configured points. Only users with the correct privileges can edit alarm set points. To edit set points, go to the site page and click on the sensor description. On the top right you will see Alarm 1 and Alarm 2. Click Edit. The high point is the maximum point the sensor reading should be before the alarm countdown begins. The low point is the minimum point the sensor reading should be, and the delay is the amount of minutes the sensor should be in a high or low reading before you receive an alert. Click on the black button at the end of Alarm 2 to activate the second alarm. Set the required set points and delay. Click the Submit button and both alarm set points are now set. Go to the site page to view the points. You can see my sensor is currently in an alarm pending status. As I don't have this sensor in the refrigerated area right now, I can inhibit the alarm so I won't receive any alarm. To do this, click on the sensor description and click the Inhibit button. The alarm is now inhibited for this particular sensor. Go to the site page to see the status is showing Inhibit. The current reading will still show. When I have placed the sensor in the correct area, I will clear the Inhibit as I want to receive alarm alerts. Now that you have created alarm set points, you can edit settings to receive an email alert when an alarm is triggered. You need to edit the email setup details, but before you do this, you need to have your email server settings as shown on the screen. You can get this from your email server settings, or you may need to request the details from your IT provider. Once you have your email server details, go to Settings, then Email Setup. Click on Edit and insert your email server details. Retries is if the D3 fails to send an email due to network issues, it can be set to retry a number of times. Retry delay is the delay between the email retries, and this is set in minutes. Ensure a test email is set and received to ensure that all details are correct. If the test email fails to send, then a detail in your email settings is incorrect. Now that you have successfully enabled and set up the email function, you should check each user's privileges to see who has the privilege to receive email notifications and who doesn't. From new, the system will have one administration user. At least one admin role must stay active on the system at all times. Log in, go to Settings and then User Management. To add a new user, click Add User. Fill in the user details Remember that a user requires a user email address if they wish to receive email notifications. Select which privileges the new user should have. And then authorize this with your own username and password. Once you create a user, click on the green lock under Password Reset. Here you have two options. The first option is to send the user an email which will prompt them to create a password. Or 2. Create the password yourself by choosing Manual Overwrite. Again, you authorize this with your own username and password. To make any amendments to a user, click on the username and edit where applicable. The site page is the first page you land on once you sign in. It shows live status of all sensors. You can view this page by sensor type. Click on the down arrow to make your preference. If you have grouped sensors, you can also expand all groups in one click. You can download this view at any time by clicking one of the 4 buttons on the top right. Next to each sensor reference is a graph bar chart. If you click on this symbol, you can view and download a graph for that sensor. First, select the sensor you want to see the graph for. You can choose which trace to view on the graph. Select a date range and click Show. Here you can pan left to right and download the graphs in PDF or CSV format. If you want a closer look at a specific section of the graph, you can click, hold, and drag your mouse across an area you wish to look at. Underneath the graph, you have the option to add another sensor to the current graph. Back on the site page, you can click on the description name. Here you can click on the bar chart, see the signal strength and the battery life of the sensor. The bars in the battery will lower in due course. Batteries should last at least 5 years. On the site page there's two other view options, in alarm and in warning. In alarm will list any sensor which is in an alarm state. In warning will list any sensor which has reached a parameter and is on the countdown to go into alarm.
Log in and go to the alarm page. The current alarms will show first, even if they have cleared. The alarm or event gives you an overview of the type of alarm. If you click into it, you will see more information. When it started, when it cleared, if it has cleared, and when an email alert was sent out. At the bottom, you can also add a comment against the alarm. The user's details will be stored next to the save comment. On the Unacknowledged tab will lie all the alarms that have yet to be acknowledged. To acknowledge an alarm, you can individually select an alarm or select them all in one go. Then click Acknowledge Selected. You must confirm the acknowledgement with your user password. The Historical tab allows you to view alarms over a certain period of time. The Audit tab gives you a view of all changes and alerts on the system, from user profiles being added and settings being updated. This can be viewed by date range and downloaded as needed. All reports generated by the D3 are in a PDF format and contain both the date of creation and the creating user's details, including an electronic signature. For reports to be created, the browser must support pop-ups, and pop-ups must be enabled for the system's assigned IP address. Log in and go to Reports. Select a date, then click Daily Overview Report. The Daily Overview Report will open in another tab. It shows each sensor, high, low, max, min and average for the date chosen, followed by a 2-hour interval. At the bottom you will see all of the alarms that occurred during this selected date. Back on the Reports tab, select a date, then Daily Sensor Reports. This report breaks down each sensor and shows a graph of the data followed by a 15-minute interval of data captured. At the bottom of each report, an electronic signature of the user that created the report will be displayed, followed by the date the report was created. The D3 software is continuously updated with new or improved features. To update the software on your D3, you will need to request the most recent version. Once you receive the software, save it in an easily accessible location, such as your desktop. Log into your system go to Settings, then Software Update, which is under Administrator. Here you have two options. The first option is to drag the file into this page. And the second option is to click on the grey box and locate the file where you saved it. After uploading the file, your base station will restart. It may take a few minutes to restart. Once your base station has restarted, the new software is already at work. After updating the software, it's essential to clear the cache from your browser history before logging back in via a browser. This is important for all users, not just the user who updated the software. The D3 scheduler is used to schedule when you want activities to take place. These activities can be when you want sensors to alarm or auto-inhibit, or when you want alarm outputs to action. Up to 5 different schedules can be created. However, a sensor or alarm profile can only be attached to one schedule. Each schedule has a 7-day cycle with up to 10 exception dates to allow for holiday periods. To create a schedule, go to Settings, Scheduler under Site Settings and click on any schedule, then Edit. There's two options in the highlighted section, Active and Inactive. Active is when the schedule will be active during the highlighted period. During this time, auto-inhibit will be active. This means that any sensors set to an auto-inhibit schedule will be inhibited. No alarms will be sent as no readings are being taken. For alarm profiles, the scheduled outputs will be active. Inactive is when the schedule will be inactive during the highlighted period. An auto-inhibit schedule will be inactive during the highlighted times. This means that sensors are recording data and alarm notifications will be sent based on sensor readings. For alarm profiles, the scheduled outputs will be inactive and will not operate during the highlighted times. To add a highlighted section, click on the start time in the schedule, hold your mouse and drag it to a desired end time. Once an appropriate time is indicated, click on the highlighted area and fine-tune the time using the selected schedule option at the bottom of the window. Exact times can be added in the From and To boxes, and this will amend the selected section above. Multiple highlighted sections can be added in the same day should this be required. To add exception dates, click on the Add button underneath Sunday. A date selection box will appear. Enter a start and end date. For a single day, add the same date in each box. Once you have completed the schedule, click Submit